Good morning, with everybody. I am going to talk about information overload. This topic is about the information that people get of different sources of in different ways. It is in a time. It is the different means of communication that the people get information. For example, can be a radio, newspaper, internet, or TV or another sources that they help to get the information. There are many people that I get addicted to the information. For example, in the morning, catch the TV for see that happen in the world or in our city. In the afternoon, they go to the computer for know that what are happening, and the evening they are getting information with the smartphone. They they are looking for new information every time, and every day, and many times at week, and many times at month, and many times at a year. And so it is people are getting addicted to get information. There are many sources that people are getting information. For example, can be television, radio, can be internet like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, or another source like Google News, a reader like, for example, when we in a reader we found the print newspaper. Another can be a smartphone like BlackBerry or iPhone. There are many sources, for example, radio, television, and another sources in different ways. For example, when they use many emails, we get calls by their cell phone, or another with word of mouth of the neighbors or other friends or family or co-workers. There are different ways of sources that people get information. So people they are getting addicted to the news, or forget a lot of information, because it is the form that they feel well. So in many cases, people they are getting addicted. So it is people feeling stressed and feel bad because mm, the mind is wonderful, and the mind catch all things that happen, that people see, that people feel, that people receive. And the mind is we should take care of our mind, because there are many things bad that happen in outside, or there are many things good that happen, but the brain receives all things, and people feel stressed, feel addicted, feel bad with this barrage that the informations give for people. Mm, um, in at the moment, there are many information, and people should establish the difference with good information and bad information, because in at the moment there are many means of communication, means of get to the news, get to the information. For example, if you go to the internet, go to the YouTube, you found a lot of information that happen in our world, on our city. And there is many things that happen, and if we take care out of children or mind, and so it is necessary now what happened in in our homes, in our schools in our family, because the information is not good, is not all good, and so is for example, the news is also repetitive in every day, and it's very harsh for me, because the things that really happen in our life is the time it's spent in our lives, and so the news is not important for me, and so we can find a lot of information in the newspaper. People prefer newspaper that people that prefer people what prefer newspaper is older people. For example, because they like to read, or another way is, for example, another people, it can be the listeners, like they like to listen music, or like to listen the news, or like the new, like to listen information. Or another is watchers. Watchers are people that prefer TV for get information, or for get the news. There are many sources. In this occasion, I am going to talk about the pathways to the news. It's sources that people that people have forget information, can be TV, radio, newspaper, or or can be internet, or can be word of mouth of another people, or can be also can be web news, like Google News. It is interesting, because many people get the information. It depends of time and age. For example, older people prefer TV and newspaper. Younger people prefer the web, the internet. Prefer they are they are readers to the news. And another people, there are another people that prefer listen the news, because they go to the radio or YouTube news, or another sources for get information. And other people prefer word of mouth. It is when you talk about the news, when another people, for example, with neighbors, with family, with co-workers, or another people. There are many ways to get information. It can be a laptop computer, a desktop computer, or a smartphone. A smartphone like BlackBerry or iPhone. Younger people prefer smartphone or BlackBerry, because there is more attractive, and there is more easily to get information with this smartphone. They get information more easily, because when they have access to internet, they get access to all things that happen in the world, on our city. And another people prefer desktop computer for get information, or a smartphone. But in many cases, many people prefer a smartphone. Less people prefer a desktop computer or laptop computer. And it is very interesting now. There are many information that are affected to people, because many people, they have to control. They have to control about what things that happen, and think in these cases what is more important for you. For example, in many cases, the real life is now, the real time, and not people. I think not. Not spend your time in very embarrassing things like news, like information that happen outside, because there are two kinds of information. There are information good and bad information, but it's necessary and not important for me, because the real life, the real thing, the real news is what happened with our life, with what happened with a personal life. For example, in my opinion, my news is what happened, what are happen in my life. If they are have increase personal, or my behavior is the effective with for have access for get successful touch. And my news are my family. My news are my time I spend with my family, with mine. Another thing that happen outside, it's not important for me, because it's very that the means of communications want to give forget your attention, and it's not necessary in their life. What happen if you don't get information? No, 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 no. What happened? No. Um, if you get good information, can be controversial, same, because people the mind of people is wonderful, and the mind is catch all things, and we take care out of our mind, because our brain is catching all things, and we have the responsibility for give to the brain, to our brain, good information, good things, good thoughtfuls, good the best is for our brain. And so, in my opinion, a lot of information, no, it's not necessary for me, because people get I get stressful, I get addicted for this, and there are many important things that is more necessary in the people should give more importance. The news or information what happened outside is not important. The most important thing is what happened with our life, with our mind, with our feelings. It is for me. I believe that it's not necessary a lot of information what happened outside. Um, um, it is that's all about the information overload, the pathways. Forget news. And the next video that I have prepared is for an interesting survey that I get. I have prepared 10 questions, 10 questions for three people of different age, three people of different gender, three people of with different age or job. For example, my first interviewer is Annabelle. Annabelle is she's married, and she works at the school, and she's a teacher of chemistry, and they have they no she has 30 years old, and she doesn't consider a news consumer, because they don't have time. She is spend your time, her time in at school, working, or spend her time with with her family. And another interviewer is Patty. Patty, she's an announcer. She has a 35 years old, and she's an announcer, and her job needs for get information. and so her job implicates forget information, and so on. She is she consider new consumer because her job determine this. The another interviewer is Veronica. Veronica, they don't her don't consider her doesn't consider news consumer because her job don't let and they don't have time for get information. So the Veronica is a teacher, and her job don't let is and she has 35 years old, and she's not considered news consumer because they don't have time, because they spend their time working. And so with this I determine with a survey about the questions that I give. People need time for get news consumer. If people don't have time, people don't get news consumer, and people should spend their time in other things. For example, working or improving their life, or take care of the family, their family, or and another things that are successful results. For this cyber, I get that many people are getting information of different sources, but the smartphone and the laptop computer or desktop computer is the best way for get access to the information in different ways. For example, can be people go to the bed to forget information with a smartphone, or people don't turn off their smartphone because they want to know what happened in outside, or what happened to another person. It's For me it's not important, because our life is more important, and our beliefs are more important, because many people think in what happened to another. This survey is very interesting, and I have the information. Its information is very interesting and thoughtful, and help me very much, because I know what the other people think about of the news. In my opinion, the news are not important. Information, there are many information, but the real information, real news is what happened with our lives, with our minds, with our feelings. And so thanks for let me give my opinion, and let me give my information with my survey. I have interviewed 3 people, and so it is very interesting and very excited for me. Let me share my information, and so it is grateful. And in my opinion, all people should give their opinion about this, because many people are are, are giving their time to are spending their time in bad things, in the internet, in the laptop computer, in the desktop computer, and spending their time, and their years also are wasted, and their life are wasted. And so it is a harsh damage that people are making themselves. People are making damage themselves with a lot of information, with difference of means that for get information. Should I believe that people make self-conscious about the use of internet, the use of means of communication, the use of um, the use of information, the use of smartphone. The people are damaging their minds. The people are damaging their family. The people are get, are spend your time in bad things, in bad way. It is important now for the real life is what happened now. And so thanks a lot for this, and I very thanks, and I want to you like my video. Thanks, that's all.